Okay, this is number 13. Number 13. This might be the last one we have scheduled so far for um, the acting series on how to get started in acting. I added number 12, which, I mean, I added a different one. This one would have been number 12, but we added the one about the vehicles because that's a current issue. A lot of people are getting ripped off of that. We'll cover that more on another video another day. Maybe I'll even shoot it tonight. I don't know, but and try to get it out there tomorrow. So today we'll talk about residual checks. Residuals. How do you get residuals? Why do you get residuals? How does that work? There's been some changes to the residuals. Now remember we went on strike, and that's one of the things we talked about was residuals. Do we get residuals on things like streaming and all that kind of stuff? And I guess we do. So some of the stuff I filmed before I did not get residuals on. Now, if I did those, I would get residuals. Too bad it's not grandfathered in and we can get residuals on those. Or not grandfathered in, but too bad they don't go back in time. Say, we'll go back to the last 15 years or 10 years. And if you didn't get residuals on a project like this, we'll give them to you. The industry's changing a lot when it comes to what we can do with our phones, our filming at home. COVID changed a lot of stuff. You know, they're all piecing things together. I'm sure if we watch some movies, you're going to see some background people wearing a mask because that's what we had to do on set. And they take off the mask when you film and put it back on. So residuals come in when you do a project that gives residuals. Under fives, for example, when I did a Jimmy Kimmel show, every time I did the Jimmy Kimmel show, I have gotten residuals, and sometimes you get it quite often. So I think it has to be based on a percentage, maybe, or time, or where they're showing that project again. If you film something for, let's say, Disney, which Jimmy Kimmel's on Channel 7 out here, ABC, which is owned by Disney, and you film and then they show it again right away. Let's say it aired on Tuesday night and then the next month they air it again. Well, that's going to be a big residual check, a higher amount of residual, percentage wise of what you made. As it goes on, it goes down and down and down. To the point where you might get an envelope and you see where it's from. You go, oh yeah, that's residuals, and you open it up and there's two checks in there, and one is for $4 and one is for 98 cents. Now that can happen. They show on photos. In the old days, now it'd be on the internet, I guess. You can look at small residual checks that people received. You'll see like major stars, and they've been doing it for a long, long time. And 20 years ago, they filmed something, and then now it's being shown again on some small television show. It was a Western, for example, was what I think I was reading about. And they get that money back in. They get that money from something they did, let's say in the 60s, and now it's the 90s or whatever. They're getting like 20 cents, 10 cents, and that stuff. They'll actually show their check. I think they do go ahead and just deposit those. Because I would throw that away, or they'll say the stamp costs more than the check. Well, that's not the point. If you get residual money, they owe it to you, and they're gonna try to get it to you. Also, sometimes if something you did is now sold overseas, a lot of times they'll close most favored nations. Maybe we did a movie here, and then some country picks it up later or even right away. I've had some where I got an additional check. I don't know if those are really considered residuals. Those are more like they sold the project elsewhere. When they do, once the product is filmed and edited and the posters are made and the cover for the video or the DVD or the streaming thing across your computer, once that's all done, they go out and they distribute, and they want to distribute it to places that make good money. They want to distribute it to places that will show it a lot, and they make more money too. So across the board, if it's being filmed, if it's being shown, if it's being offered to be watched, it will draw money. So the longer it draws, the better it draws. I did another video about residuals. If you go back and you look at two residual checks, I got two residual checks. I filmed my residual checks, I think, more than once. I filmed a couple of residual checks, but it could be the fact that they, it's something they pulled out during maybe during the summer, during summer rerun time. or if maybe if a show they think it's gonna be a hit and they're gonna film 26 episodes this year, then they found out after maybe 3 or 4 episodes, this isn't gonna work, and they'll pull it and they'll throw something else into that time slot. Maybe they'll start rerunning a short series that they did. Some series are supposed to be short; they're mini series or they're midsummer replacement. They'll do some of those kind of shows, or another show that wasn't as successful as they thought. They have a short run, and they say, "Well, we're gonna do this. We're gonna have this out 26 episodes. We're gonna run this thing for, 8 months or whatever. On every Monday or whatever. I don't know." Then what they will do is they'll throw in another show that didn't do too well to fill it up. But they're going to use it. Sometimes they'll use a part of the show. I did one thing and they used it as a flashback. No. I did a movie or a TV show, and the new television show, they said, "Oh, is there anything on TV?" And they're clicking, and when they clicked, it was fake, of course. They clicked the clicker, right, to the remote, and they came to the show that we did. Now it wasn't really there. They're probably a blank screen. They were going, "Oh," and then they just added it in there. But what they used was something that I had done before, and I got a very small residual check because it was used one time in that movie. That might not have been a residual check. That probably was some kind of a new process because they sold that to that other television show. For example, let's say they're watching Friends and they turn it on. And there's an old episode of the Flintstones, and so Fred and Barney and Wilma and everybody, Betty, they all get a little money because they put that on there. I don't know exactly how it works. I don't know if you're a big time star, you have to sign papers. It would probably be in your NDA, which is your non-disclosure agreement, or your contract of how that can be used and how you will be compensated when it is used. But residuals are good because you'll get paid for something you did long ago. If you give these residual checks, let's say I go to the mailbox right now and I pull out an envelope and I say, "Well, there's another envelope and this one has 3 and this one has 2, and it all adds up to $12 for something I did 7 years ago." Okay, it's $12 for something I filmed. It keeps on giving, keeps on more working for you. So residuals are good. A lot of you will not know if there's residuals until sometimes I don't even know until I filmed it. Not until I filmed it, until the check gets there. When that residual, oh, I didn't know I get residuals for that. Cool. Now I don't know about commercials. I know you do get it for TV, and I know there's some money you get for through the distribution process of a movie. But usually I'll just say we need people to do this. We need a guy to look like a train conductor, and he's checking his watch and writing something down, and he says, "Whew, man, it's hot out here today," and he jumps in the back of the train. That guy could be me. If you need a train conductor right here, I really don't know how to move a train or an engineer or any of that kind of stuff on the train, or the guy who walks by, take the ticket, tickets please. But if I was able to play that on TV, and I wouldn't know there's residuals. I would just know they need somebody. I applied for it. They got it. They got me the job. I'm happy to have it. I'm there, ready to go, and do a good job for them. And then all of a sudden, residual comes in. And so I don't know. I think you can probably check that somehow, maybe through SAG-AFTRA. I'm not really sure how that works, but what I say is if the role is good enough for me to do it today, I'm just extra happy if a residual comes in the future. So I don't really search my work for residual payments because the actual filming day is the big money day. So those are the ones I'm really going out to get. Anything else, that's just like bonus. That's gravy. That's icing on the cake. Whatever it is. So residuals. Don't forget. Please don't forget. Subscribe. The things right down here. Channel's doing a little bit better. We're getting, but most of the things we're getting, most of the subscribers and the watch time is coming from shorts, not from the longer videos. So please watch this video all the way through. Like it. Share it. Don't forget, if you want to do some acting and you want to get some acting from the videos that we're doing, you're going to have to subscribe. And it's down there in the right-hand corner. I'm pointing to the left, so it should be the right-hand corner for you. You must subscribe. I'm not saying I won't put you on there if you don't subscribe. I'm just saying, how are you going to see it if you don't subscribe? So subscribe, hit that bell, We're going to start working on the one for the cars. I'm going to work at the logistics, how I'm going to get the information. I know people are going to send me too much. I'm going to say, please just send me, you know, these photos. What year is your car? What color is your car? Does it run? Running is, it'll start up. Driving is one that you can drive. Is it loud? Is it quiet? Do the lights work? You tell me what works, what doesn't work. That I know that they can send me all kinds of. Here's a video of my car that I did in 1975. And here's a commercial, not of my car, but of the El Camino. It's GMC is introducing the El Camino, and it is a commercial they did back in the 50s. Look at this. I don't need that. They don't need that. So I'll tell you what we do need. Have a great day. It's now Friday, so happy weekend. Down there, right down there, maybe I'll get the one about the cars out tonight, and I'll see. It's going to be tweaked a little, not twerked. It'll be tweaked a little bit because I'll start it out. People are going to mess it up. I'm going to take it off and all that. Take care.